Hello, I'm going to show you how you can make a couch in Blender. It's not too difficult, but you do need to get it right because the couch is obviously a very natural shape. It's not very geometric, and if you get it wrong, it will obviously look very bad. So the first thing you want to do is just add a plane, grab it, and just move it up a little bit, and then scale it just on X-axis, just like this. There we go. We got there in the end. Then go to edit mode and just extrude this to give it a bit of thickness. And the next thing we're going to want to do is just add some loop cuts. So 2 cuts that way, right click to leave them in the middle, and also 1 cut this way, but we want it to be here. And I'm gonna go Alt click here and then Alt Shift click on this one, scale on the X-axis to here. And I'm now going to go to face select, but you can just press 3 to do that, and then shift click all of these ones and extrude them to about here. And then I'm just going to want to select just these 3 and then extrude them again to here. And you can see we've got the basic shape of the couch coming together, and we now need to smooth out a bit. So in object mode, if you select it, you can just do Control 2 to add a subdivision surface modifier on it. And you can see it's got a bit of work to do, but the rough shape is somewhat okay. So you're going to go to edit mode, and we're just going to do some loop cuts. So just do 1 cut about here with a little bit of space to spare, and then do another cut here, also a little bit of space to spare. And we're also going to want to do a cut about here, just like that, and also a cut here, just like that, and 1 more cut just here to make it a little bit sharper, just like that. So if we go back to object mode, you can see we've now made some decent progress with our couch, and we just now need to right click and shade smooth. And the next thing we're going to need to do, there we go, we've now shade smoothed the object. The next thing we're going to need to do is make some pillows. And if you put the 3D cursor just in the center of one of the halves, like just by shift right clicking, if we can shift A, add a plane, scale it down on the Y-axis so it fits the couch, scale it up a tiny bit on the X-axis, and grab it, move it a tiny bit on the X-axis. That's roughly where our plane needs to be. Now in edit mode, we can just extrude it to about there. Maybe a bit further up, actually. And this does look wrong now because the armrest is too low for the pillow, but it'll be fixed later on. And the next thing we're going to want to do is do some loop cuts on this. So we're going to just Control R and do 2 cuts just here. 3 cuts actually, and right click to leave them in the center, and then just do another 3 cuts just like that, and right click to leave them in the center. And then if you alt click and then alt shift click this, and then S and X, scale them out, put them roughly here, and then alt click and alt shift click, and then scale out on the Y axis to here. And you're now going to go 3 to face select and shift click all 3 of these and poke faces. Just right click and then poke faces. And we are going to now bevel the inside. So if you go to 1, vertex select, and then shift click these 4 vertexes here, you can select them all, and then with Control B you can bevel it, but as you can see it doesn't look like it does anything. But if you press V, it will make a face in the center, and we're going to want to do about that. And as you can see, we've now got our faces here. And we are going to go back to face select, or just pressing 3 and shift click all 4 of these faces. and then press G to grab and on the Z axis only and just move them down. And then back in object mode, we can do Control 2 for a subsurface modifier and shade smooth. And as you can see, we've now got a pillow. And if we just Shift D and duplicate it, we've now got 2 pillows on our couch. But we've only got the bottom pillows and we still don't have any on the top. And you could just duplicate it, but I don't really want to do that because there's 4 indents on these, and for the back I only want 2. So if I go 1 for front view, I'll just shift right click, add a plane, and rotate our plane on the x-axis by 90 degrees. And now I'll scale it down on the y. Actually, no. Scale it on z just a bit, and scale it on the x-axis just like that. And then move it down a little bit. Okay, and now we're just going to want to extrude just like that. Move it up, actually no. Move the whole thing up a little bit, just to there or something. And now it's probably easier if we just leave it flat for now, just so we can actually work on it before we put it onto the couch. So we are going to do more loop cuts for this one, and we're just going to go edit mode and Control R. And for this, we're only going to want 2 loop cuts like this, and just right click to put them in the center, and then scale on the Y axis to put them here. And then on this way, we're going to want just 3 loop cuts like this, right click to leave them in the center, alt click and alt shift click, and then scale it on the X axis just like that. And then we're going to go to face select, or you can just press 3, which is much easier. So just press 3 and then shift click both of these faces and poke faces just like before. And now you are going to need to go to 1, shift click both these faces to select them, Control B to bevel, and press V and it will add a face about that big, and then go to face select and you'll already have them selected, and you will just G and Z and move them down a little bit just like that. And you also do Control and then numpad plus to like change the selection, and then we're going to move this up a little bit just to make it the pillow a bit more like puffy. And now back in object mode, we can do Control 2 for a subsurface modifier and we shade smooth. And now we can rotate it on the x-axis 90, and then we will grab it and bring it over here. So with 3, you can go to side view, and then we rotate on the X, we'll do like that, and then just grab it, put it about there. So that looks roughly right. Now with numpad 1 for front view, we'll put it here roughly. And then I can just shift D, but just on X, hang on. So I can shift D and then just move it on the X axis, just like that. And then shift D, X, just like that. And then select all 3 of them and scale them up a bit, and then put them where you think you should have them. So select all 3 of them, grab them and put them roughly here. But since this pillow is floating, that's a bit unrealistic. So I'm going to want to move it. So just move it down to there. And with this pillow, I'll rotate on the y-axis to there, and then move it down a little bit. We just want this to be realistic. So I'm going to rotate this on the y-axis to about that, grab Z, move it down, and we're almost done. Now we just need to Shift D this, grab it, move it out on the y-axis, rotate it on X 90, actually minus 90, not 90. We've now got it here, and we can just rotate it on Z 90, go to front view, rotate, just keep it flat, and then just move it on the X, so G, grab, and then G, Y to about here, and then G, Z, or X, and then G, Z to roughly here. And that's like the armrest, but you can see it's very big, so I'll scale it a lot down to about there. And then grab it on the X, put it there, but it's a bit high, so I'll move it down just like that. And I will Shift D, X, and just do that. And as you can see, we've now finished the model for the couch. All we need to do is give the materials. So I'm just going to select the main couch object. Actually, I'll select everything, and then I'll just Control P, object, keep transform, and so no, I selected the light as well. Hang on, I don't want that. So I'll just select all this, select like that. There we go. So I've selected everything but the camera and the light. And I will now Control P, object, keep transform, and now when I grab it, when I grab the main couch object, everything comes with it. So you will want to keep this as the same object, and you can just name it couch or sofa or whatever you want it to be. And in the materials tab, I'll make a new material. I'll just call it couch. Oh, there we go. And I think we're just going to want it to be, I'll just have a grey couch. So I'll do material preview. It's a bit too shiny, so I'll bring that bit up. Probably maybe there. And just have a grey couch. So I now just need to put that on all of my pillows, and after that we'll just have the legs to do, and then we'll be done with our couch. So if you're gonna want to make your couch look realistic, so make sure things aren't floating. And alright, so let's just do right click here and then snap cursor to world origin, and then Shift A, add a circle. In edit mode, you can just press F to fill it, and then we'll scale it down a bit to about here. Now I can go to wireframe view, 7 for top view, and then just grab it and put it here, and then I'll scale it down a little bit more. So you can see that our leg is like this, so edit mode, we can just extrude just up like that. And we could obviously just do this 3 more times, but we can also just use a mirror modifier. So in the modifiers tab, I'll add a mirror modifier and select X and Y. And we've now made the legs. We just need to give them a material. But remember, if the couch isn't on the world origin, you'll have to actually select the mirror object as the couch. But since it's on the world object, it's mirroring through the origin, so it doesn't really matter. And in material preview, we'll go out edit mode. We'll just materials, new. We don't need to change the color. We just crank up the metallic to 100% and it's metal. So we've got our couch. Very nice. And if you've stuck with me this far, you will have now finished your couch and it will be done. So great job. You made a realistic couch. And thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe. Bye.